Once upon a time, there was a jinkham. Do you know what a jinkham is? Well, you don't know, and I don't know, and nobody else knows. But we do know one thing about him. His front legs are longer than his back legs, and one of his front long legs is longer than his other long leg, and one of his short legs is shorter than his other short leg, so he can only walk in a circle. One day, Jinkham was out walking in a circle when along came a bampoodle. Do you know what a bampoodle is? Well, you don't know, and I don't know, and nobody else knows. But we do know one thing about him. He's very mean. And he took Jinkham by one of his long legs and swung him around and around in the air. And when he landed, he was far away from home. And he could only walk in a circle, so he didn't know how he was going to get home. So do you know what he did? He sat down and started to cry. But if he'd known how funny he looked, he never would have cried. Well, pretty soon along came a goodlegee fump. Do you know what a goodlegee fump is?
No.
You don't know, and I don't know, and nobody else knows. But we do know one thing about him. He's very kind. And he said, "Why, Jinkham, why are you crying?" And Jinkham said, "Well, the bampoodle threw me far away from home, and I could only walk in a circle, so I don't know how to get home." And the goodlegee fump sat down and thought. He said, "Well, Jinkham, crying never did any good." He said, I'll teach you how to walk in a straight line." And Jinkham said, "Oh no, Jinkhams will always walk in a circle, and they always will." But the goodlegee fump took him out and taught him to put one long leg forward and bring the other short leg up, and put one long leg forward and bring the other short leg up, until pretty soon Jinkham could walk in a straight line. And he walked and he walked and he walked till he came to a river. Well, the goodlegee fump had taught him to walk in a straight line, but he hadn't taught him to swim in a straight line. So he didn't know what to do. So, do you know what he did? He sat down and started to cry. But if he'd known how funny he looked, he never would have cried. Well, suddenly up swam a rococo. Do you know what a rococo is?
No.
Well, you don't know, and I don't know, and nobody else knows. But we do know one thing about him. He's a big fish. And he said, "Why, Jinkham, why are you crying?" And Jinkham said, "Well, the bampoodle threw me far away from home, and then the goodlegee fump taught me to walk in a straight line. Now I've come to this river, and I can't get across." Well, the rococo said, "Crying doesn't help." He said, "Why don't you just hop on my back, and I'll take you across the river." So Jinkham hopped on his back, and he took him across the river. But when he got off on the other side, you know what had happened?
No.
He'd forgotten how to walk in a straight line. So do you know what he did? He sat down and started to cry. But if he'd known how funny he looked, he never would have cried. Well, then goodlegee fump came along again. He said, "Well, Jinkham, what's the matter now?" And he said, "Well, I came to the river, and you had taught me how to walk in a straight line, but I didn't know how to swim. So the rococo brought me across, and now I'm on the other side, and I've forgotten how to walk in a straight line." And the goodlegee fump said, "Well, I taught you once. I can teach you again." So again he taught him to put one long leg forward and bring the other short leg up, and put one long leg forward and bring the other short leg up, until Jinkham learned to walk again. So he walked and he walked and he walked till he got to the hollow tree where he lived. And all the baby Jinkhams came running out in a circle to meet him and said, "Why, Daddy Jinkham, where have you been?" So he told them the story about the bampoodle, the goodlegee fump, and the rococo. And then he said, "And now, baby Jinkhams, I'm going to teach you how to walk in a straight line." And the baby Jinkham said, "Oh no, Jinkhams have always walked in a circle." But he took those babies out and taught them to put one long leg forward and bring the other short leg up. And put one long leg forward and bring the other short leg up. And so, do you know, to this day, Jinkhams always walk in a straight line.